Hello, I'm Tazai Howard, and welcome back to Jambar TV's new show, the Jambar Sports Extra. The show is where every other week we will be giving you the rundown of what is happening with all YSU sports. After 6 games, YSU's women's volleyball team sits at a record of 2-4 as they continue their road trip. The Penguins have competed in both the University of Connecticut tournament and the Jerry Polvino Invitational, hosted by Eastern Kentucky University. Youngstown State opened with back-to-back losses to Sacred Heart and UConn, and then won their next 2 games against Long Island University and Radford University. Youngstown State's win over LIU marks Coach Riley Jarrett's first win as a Penguins head coach. The next 2 games were losses to Morehead State University and Eastern Kentucky, ending the tournament. The Penguins will be participating in the Ellicott Hotel's Western New York Invitational in Buffalo, New York on Saturday. YSU's women's golf team won their season opener at the Boardman in the Mill Creek Golf Course and finished with 7 Penguins scoring in the top 10. Junior Maddie Schultz shot 68, taking first place individually and earning her gold medal honors. Behind Schultz were her own teammates, sophomore Niranuch Prajupanic in second and true freshman Sofia Perez Escadena in third individually. Prajupanic shot with a 72 and Escadena with a 76. True freshman Valentina Peña Anaya placed 5th with an individual score of 78, and senior Lizzie Sauer with who tied for 6th with 79. Both junior Adina Rogola and true freshman Bella Sauer tied for 9th with 81, rounding out the top 10. The team will travel to University Park in PA to compete in the Nittany Lion Invitational hosted by Penn State, and we are excited. Through 7 games, the YSU women's soccer team sits at a record of 2-3-2 with conference play on the horizon. Senior sports editor Dylan Lux recaps their recent stretch of games. Dylan?
Thanks, Isaiah. YSU women's soccer is gearing up for conference play after a stout non-conference slate. YSU traveled to 2 cities in New York as well as Richmond, Kentucky for recent non-conference matchups. Buffalo, New York was the first stop on the Penguins' road trip for a matchup with MAAC opponent Canisius University on August 29th. The Penguins were down 1-0 at halftime, but following the first career goal from sophomore Tatum Gretz, the Gwins ended the match in a 1-1 draw. Junior Taylor Berry assisted on the goal. Farmers National Bank Field was next on the schedule as the George Washington University Revolutionaries came to Youngstown for a September 1st match under the sun. A first-half game-winning goal by senior Elise Klein-Spindola off an assist from Gretz was all YSU needed to pick up its second victory, 1-0. Spindola said the free space during her goal run caught her by surprise, but she didn't want to overthink putting the ball in the back of the net.
Surprised that I had so much space. I think she was surprised too. She was thinking of going the other direction first, but it was so open, and then I didn't want to think too much, so I was like, goalkeeper's out, I'm going to chip her, and yep, it worked out.
For that week, Gretz and freshman Maya Nemoli were named Horizon League Offensive and Defensive Players of the Week, respectively. Gretz says she needs to continue to generate scoring opportunities.
Just keep shooting. That's the thing for me. I shot last game and I scored, so just keep shooting and creating opportunities for other players.
The Gwins waddled back to New York off the campus of St. Bonaventure University as they face the Bonnies on September 5th. 2 goals from St. Bonaventure and a stout defense, only allowing 2 shots on goal for Youngstown State, saw the game end in a 2-0 loss for the Penguins. Rounding out the Gwins' recent stretch of games was a September 9th matchup against Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond. The Atlantic Sun Conference proved formidable, as YSU was shut out once again, 1-0. Seeking to amend 2 straight losses, Youngstown State played its final non-conference match on September 15th against Duquesne University. Going into the match, the Penguins were 2-10-2 all-time against the Dukes, who were 4-1 this season, with only 1 loss to nationally ranked number 7 Pittsburgh University at Acrisure Stadium. View stats from the matchup on YSUsports.com. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Dylan Lux. Tazaya, back to you.
Thanks, Dylan. Since 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has gained a lot of attention and has been a staple for the football conference subdivision. The Youngstown State University football program has called the conference home since 1997 and is one of the 11 teams that make the conference. The official start of MVSC play begins at 1 p.m. on September 28th. For a full list of the conference games, visit valleyfootball.org. Stay tuned for more YSU football updates after the break.
gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we can ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
Thanks for sticking around and welcome back. The Youngstown State University football team's regular season is underway. The team kicked off their season on the road against Villanova University. I have more on the story. Football season is back for Youngstown State University as they travel to Villanova, Pennsylvania in Week 1 to take on the number 6 ranked Villanova Wildcats. The team returns home to Stanbaugh Stadium with a statement win over Valparaiso. LSU visited Villanova last season for a second-round FCS playoff matchup, where the Gwins were defeated 45-28 on December 2, 2023. The Penguins were bested by 17 in the playoff matchup and came up short by 1 score this year against the Wildcats in a 24-17 loss. Penguins head coach Doug Phillips said he is looking for his team to only improve moving forward. The team turned Coach Phillips' bounce-back statement into action in Week 2 versus Valparaiso University, where the Penguins defeated the Crusaders 59-25. Penguin starting quarterback Bo Brungard led the team to 5 total touchdowns in the victory. Brungard also threw for 125 yards and rushed for 194 yards. Brungard said he gained experience from the Week 1 loss.
Definitely took some things from last week in the first start and learned from them. You know, main thing was taking care of the football. You know, it's hard to win a football game when you turn the ball over that many times. So that was the biggest thing, and just taking what the defense gives you. You know, don't try and force throws or try and make a play when you got other athletes around you who are good.
2 out of the 3 touchdowns Brungard threw were hauled in by junior wide receiver Max Tomczak. The wideout finished the game with 98 total receiving yards. Tomczak said the team will strive to clean up plays that could have hit for big yardage.
We know what we could do going into the week. I mean, that wasn't really a surprise to us. We know we have that big play capability, but it really just comes down to working on the plays that we didn't hit on. You know, I think we should have had a lot more explosives than we had. So going forward, it's just going to be working on fixing those little things.
The football team will return to the Ice Castle for the second week in a row, where they take on the Duquesne University Dukes at 2 p.m. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Taziah Howard. And now, for our interview segment this week, sports editor Dylan Lux sat down with fifth-year senior soccer forward Lianna Van Sice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first interview in Jambar Sports Extra history. I am Dylan Lux, alongside Lianna Van Sice. Precise Van Sice, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us here today.
Mm-hmm.
You're making history with us.
That's
being
so
here.
exciting.
Yes, you're a part of history. So first things first, welcome back to YSU soccer. I mean, a tough injury going down last season. So how's it feel to be back on the field with your teammates?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, obviously it was hard because it is a really tough injury. I mean, a lot of soccer players have to go through it, but it is a long rehab process. But thankfully, it does happen so often. I know that's not the best way of putting it, but you know you can come back to play and be with your team. So it's just a really good feeling, and I'm really happy to be back.
Absolutely, and not to mention you scoring in your debut as a fifth year. How was that?
Yeah, no, I was saying it was like a movie. That's how we were describing it. It was like I was in a movie type of thing, but no, it was just really exciting. Like, you always wish that would happen, so it was really awesome that it did.
Yeah, coming back from an injury, and in your first match, you put the ball in the back of the net, as Coach Frum would say. So the last couple of matchups haven't exactly gone your way, 0-2 in the last 2, both on the road, of course. So what do you think's been the problem? Not necessarily the problem, but what do you think that the team might have to change to move forward with that?
I mean, we've had a few little injuries that have been going on, not like long-term ones, but there have been some things that have kind of been putting a rut in what we want to do. But we've been switching around personnel and putting people in different positions, so we do just need to keep working, and I do think we have the personnel that it doesn't matter where someone's playing, they can go and do their job at 100%. So I think that by the time we get to conference, we should be winning.
Sounds perfect. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
So through 7 matchups, what are some of your takeaways? You've played 7 games now with your team. It's a pretty hefty non-conference schedule. You got one more coming up against Duquesne. So what are some takeaways you've seen from the first 7?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is the first time I feel like our team has had a different mentality in a way. It's more family along the lines of just going out there and playing to win. We all care about each other off the field equally as much as on the field. And so continuing to work hard with each other and, like I said, it doesn't matter who's on the field. Everyone has a job they have to do, and everyone believes that we can go out there and win. And I don't know, I feel like we still need to work on offense a little bit and putting the ball in the back of the net. But like I said, it's getting there slowly, so hopefully we will.
And that family is such big for team building and morale. So I'm with you on that 100%.
Yeah.
You know, playing 2 MAC schools too, you know, that's tough to go and play these 2 teams, especially one on the road. And both teams are over 60% winning percentage. So tough teams that you guys have played so far. A lot of road games. You played more road games than home games so far. I think 4 on the road and only 2 so far at home. Does that impact you guys, do you think?
I don't know. I feel like in a way it can, because, you know, you're going somewhere where you don't have as big of a home crowd. It's not your own field where you're always playing on. But in a way, you kind of just have to not think about that and just go out there and play. But I guess it could have an effect, yeah, like in a way, because you don't have that home crowd and people there. But having your team there helps so much, because our bench has always been louder than the other team's bench, regardless of where we go. So that always helps.
Oh, that's a little mini home field advantage. I've been to every game, and I've seen. I love it. I love the energy you guys
so
bring.
It's awesome.
They're loud.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is, absolutely. So what about like the travel itself? Like, do you think that you guys like might have some jet lag a little bit, or do you think that doesn't affect you guys?
No, I don't think jet lag, because we haven't gone anywhere too far. I mean, you know, our 2 games were only 3 hours away, and then the most recent game we had was only about 5.5, and we do stop. So no, I don't think it really does play an effect, because, you know, we do a lot of recovery, reset before we go to practice and stuff. And
what are some of those recovery and reset you guys do?
Yeah, you know, we have a new AT this year. Her name's Jillian. She's awesome. She's like pretty young, actually. She just got out of like grad school for it, and she's been great. She's been awesome. You know, obviously the ATs work so hard to make sure that we're all ready to go. So we'll have our treatments on the road. Obviously you do our rollout, recovery, regen type of thing. So, you know, and before you play a game, you don't want to do too much. So our coaches always make sure that we're ready to go into the game and not too tired or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, avoiding injury is obviously a huge deal, especially in a physical sport like soccer and one where you're running for 90 minutes straight. So despite being under 500 at this point, you guys are still second best in the Horizon League. How do you guys feel like going into conference play knowing that you can stand up to those guys?
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like this year this team is, I'm not trying to say better than previous teams I've been on. I know I've been here for 5 years, so I feel like I can say that. But the skill we have, the talent we have, going into conference, I feel really confident. I've been watching our other teams that are in our conference playing, and I'm like, oh, we're better than them. So it just feels good knowing that going in, regardless of our record right now.
I like to hear that. That's awesome. So watching these other Horizon League teams, no name drops.
Yeah.
What do you think sets them? What do you think sets you guys apart from them? What are you seeing that know that you're like, okay, I know?
Yeah, I think we have these principles and standards that we set when we play of how we want to get up the field. We don't just do it to do it. I know Brian always says, you know, we just need to score 1 goal more than the other team, but that is true, because some teams just kind of kick the ball and run, but we do have set ways that we want to get the ball in the net, and I feel like we have established those, and we like to play that way compared to other teams, and it'll work out against these teams that will play in conference.
I like to hear that. So any different planning going into this Horizon League schedule? I mean, obviously 10 games, 5 on the road, 5 at home. Any different planning for you guys going into these teams? I mean, obviously the Horizon League has great competition every year.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think just continuing working on what we've been doing in these games, even though our record hasn't shown it, we've slowly been getting better. And over time, I think it'll work out, especially against our league opponents.
Absolutely. I will never judge a record until we get to conference play. I mean, I'm not out on the field, so that's why I love to hear it from you directly.
And obviously, you know, points matter, but once we get to conference is when the points completely matter.
It really matters.
Yeah, so it's a completely different aspect and a different lock-in, if you would say that.
Absolutely. After Duquesne, it's 0-0.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
0-0. Any matchups particular that you're looking forward to coming into 10 games?
Honestly, this is kind of weird, but I am excited to play Wright State again. That was the game that I got injured in. But I don't know, I just get excited because I know some people get scared and they get mental blocks after injuries, but I don't have the outlook. I'm excited to play against that team again because I almost said, and my teammates said they had to take me out for a reason, so that's why I got hurt.
Oh, I like that though.
Yeah.
Fierce mentality from Precise Van Sice.
Yeah.
That's actually all I got. So I appreciate you being here with us today, and for the first time in Jambar Sports Extra history, we had a nice interview segment. So thank you again, Lianna, for being here.
Thank you.
I have been Dylan Lux. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll send it back to our Jambar Sports Extra crew.
That's all we have for the Jambar Sports Extra this week. Join us next week for the Jambar News Magazine. YSU don't want to miss out.